And hello everyone, welcome back to another C++ tutorial. So today we'll be talking about getting user input. Probably my favorite part of any programming language is being able to get input from the user. Because let's say you have a nice program where you can chat with someone. Now you just need to get user input in order to make that program work. 99% of programs will require some form of user input. And in this case, this form is going to be text input via the terminal. So there's two ways we can get user input that I'm going to show you. And yeah, so the first way is using CIN. CIN is basically what you can use to get console input, but only basically one word. So let's try and do it. So here we have a basic program. I'm going to remove that part there because we didn't need it. We can say int, and maybe let's say the user needs to enter their age. So I'm going to say age here. And here we can just tell the user that they should enter their age. So I'm going to say cout and please enter your age, right? And you'll notice that I'm going to remove this int_al here because I wanted to ask that question and let them put the input on the same line. If you put int_al there, they'll have to put the input on the next line, which we don't want. We want it on the same line. But that's optional. I just prefer mine on the same line. You might want yours on the next line. It's just what you prefer. So what we can do is we can say CIN or STD, you should rather say. CIN. So if you use namespace std, you don't have to put this std there. And then we can say two bracket signs or these bracket symbol things, but they're the opposite of the ones you have with cout, because whatever's going into this input should be sent towards something else. This means the direction it's being sent in. For example, this text is being sent to the console to be put out. So it's being sent to console output. While this input is being sent towards, and you guessed it, age. So we're sending the user input into age. And that's also why I decided to break these two up into two, so it's just easier to send them into one another. And let's actually see out what we have. So cout, you are age years old. Okay, let's try to run this and see if this works. So let's see. So you compile and run it, and please enter your age. I'm going to say 18. You are 18 years old. So we just told the computer what should be entered here. Let's do it again. I guess we didn't have to compile it, but anyway, so let's go here and say I'm 99. I'm 99 years old. But what if you did two things here? Let's say 18 and 99. Well, we get 18, so there's not a big problem, right? And yet again, you don't have a problem, 18. So just take note that if you enter more than one thing, it's just going to give you the first one. So this is the delimiter, it's the space. Delimiter meaning it's what splits the two apart. Now let's say you do want to get more things. So let's say we also want to get a string. So std string, and here we can say name, and I'm just going to do that and say name. Please enter your age and name. So what we're doing here is we're stringing the input together. So the first one is going to go to age, and then the second input is going to go to name. And here we can say, instead of you, we can put a name there, name. And I know at the beginning this way and that way is very confusing, but to be honest, you just have to try and error. Sometimes you will find yourself doing this. Whoa, my bad. Did not mean to do that. Doing this instead of this. That does happen even with me today, but you will get used to it soon enough. Now let's try and run this. Okay, I am 18, and let's say my name is Nami. Nami are 18. That English does not sound right, but Nami are 18 years old. So let's just change that to is. So cool. That's how you can get more things. So take note, the first one here is going to be the first input. Now, what if you don't give it a second input? Whoa, okay, I just can't click my mouse right today. Let's say we give it 18. Then it's just going to wait for us to give it another input. And you'll notice that it just works perfectly fine. So it's going to wait for a second input because it knows it needs a second input. Now that's the first way to get it, and it's great if you really need to get words. But let's say we want the user to describe themselves. So here I'm going to say, please enter your, and instead of age and name, I'm going to say description. Because let's say it's like a police station, you need to enter the description of the guy that just tried to rob you, or something like that. Then this can be what's happening there, and then we can say description, and we can just put the description in here. Okay, now the next input, if I can type, is called getLine. And as you may think, getLine allows you to, well, get the line. So let's go here and say std string, and I'm going to call this desk for description is, and I'm not going to make it equal to anything. Now, we want to get the line of, or we want to get a line and put it inside of description here. What we can do is we can say std get line, and yet again, if you have using namespace std here, then you don't have to put that std there. Anyhow, so std get line, and here we have to say std cin, and this is the method it's going to use to get the input, which is cin. And then we can say desk. So yeah, so it's going to use this method to get what we need, and it's going to store inside of disk. So let's quickly try and see if it works. So I'm going to compile and run this. I'm going to say blue hair, and I never did this disk. We need to display the description in order for the program to work as we plan. Okay, and let's say the description is blue hair. As you can see, description blue hair. So yeah, that's the get line. What if you want to use get line as well as cin? Because you'll notice something is if we try to use cin here. So let's go back and say int age, and then here we say cin. This should be std cin, and here we can say, and that should be other way around. As I said before, you can still make that mistake, and we can say age. And here we can try and display the age. So I'm going to go \n, which will create a new line, and say age. And I'm going to display age here. Let's see what happens here. And first, we also want to make sure that we know we're trying to get age. I'm just going to move this downwards so they're together with their things. And here I'm going to say cout. What was the age? I'm going to remove that indal. And there we go. Now our code is slightly more clean, and let's see what happens if you try and use cin with getLine. Okay, so the age we'll say is 19. And as you can see, we get the age is 19, and it's asked for the description, and it just skips it. Now, that is because a cin, I believe, kind of rules like a type of buffer. And whenever we try to use cin with getLine, since getLine is using cin, it also uses that buffer. So when you press enter, it's like, oh, okay, cin has been used. We can stop. So what we can do here is we can say cin, or that should be std cin dot ignore. And this means ignore the cin we have in the buffer. So don't try and use it. We have already used it. You can stop using it. That's basically what we're saying. So now if we try and enter the age and say 20, it allows us to get the description as well. Blue hair, or Hari, that's fine as well. Description, blue Hari, and age is 20. So yeah, if you want to use them together, you can just use cin ignore. Otherwise, you can get a line by saying getLine, or you can just get a word or multiple words or input by using CIN. That is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all again in the next C++ tutorial.